everyone, and welcome to the Kiki London YouTube channel. My name's Amanda, and in today's video we are going to be doing a spring/Easter design using the Macaron Spring Collection. Now this collection launched on Monday. As you can see here, this is the 8 gorgeous shades in this collection. I do have a swatch video up that I did on the channel. It'll be the video before this one, so do check that one out if you missed it. Now starting off for today's design, I'm going to be coming in with the beautiful O Vanilla. I haven't actually used this colour in a little while, and this used to be one of my go-to base colours, and I kind of have just forgotten about it a little bit. And I was going through all of my like nude and lighter shades, and I come across it and I remember that I absolutely love it for this time of year, and I found that it worked as a really beautiful base for the Macaron collection just because it's got that creamy yellowy nude tone, and it just worked really well with the pastel vibe that's in that collection. So I'm going to come in and I'm going to do 2 coats of this on all of the nails as like my base coat for, my base color for the design. Now obviously if you was doing this on yourself or a client, you would need to do all of your prep and base coat to begin with. I will leave a dedicated prep video linked in the description box below for you guys to check out. So that's the first coat of this colour done, and the first coat of this does look like a really nice natural sheer nude. Sometimes, or before anyway, I have worn this just as one coat on my nails on its own if I want a really like natural look and just a hint of colour. For this particular design, I'm going to come in and do 2 coats though, as I really want that pigmentation from the design to come through. So we're just coming in now and applying that second coat of colour. I keep both of my coats fairly thin. The first coat I do super thin, and then I just apply the second coat ever so slightly thicker. This way I find that you get a lot of the pigmentation and the opacity from the colour coming through, but you haven't applied too much thickness. You definitely don't want a thick base colour when you are going to be applying nail art on top. And a majority of the Kiki London shades, I'd say at least 99% of them, do only require 2 thin coats of colour anyway. So this is what this shade looks like with that second coat. It is absolutely beautiful. So we're going to pop that in to cure for 30 seconds. And then what I am going to do is I'm going to come over the top of the first nail that I'm going to be working on with my no wipe matte top coat. And on all of the nails that I'll be doing hand painting on, I am going to matte top coat over the O Vanilla. So I think that's 3 out of the 4 nails, but I'm just going to show you guys one. Now I like to matte top coat for 2 reasons. One, because it makes a hand painting a little bit to see on camera if I'm doing it over a matte surface, and 2, because I actually find it a lot easier to paint on a matte surface. So if you're struggling with any kind of hand painting, definitely give it a try over your no wipe matte top coat. Now for our spring macaron colours, I'm going to be using Strawberry Smoothie, Mint Lolly, which can I say is an absolute gorgeous shade. We're also going to be using Lush Lavender, and then lastly I decided to use a Blueberry Whisk as well. I felt as though these 4 colours teamed up absolutely beautifully together. One of the things that I really love about this collection is a majority of the colours will work really well with each other, but this was my colour palette for today's design. Also, we're going to be using the Kiki London Stripe liner brush. You guys know that this is my absolute go-to nail art brush. So this is what O Vanilla looks like once it has got that matte top coat done. And then on this design, we're going to be doing kind of like a curved stripy design. So I'm taking the Strawberry Smoothie to begin with, loading up my stripe liner brush with a generous amount of that gel polish, and then just starting off in the corner. I find it easiest to start in the corner personally, just because I'll base that on how thick I want my stripes to be and how I want the curve to go. And I find it a lot easier if we're doing that from the corner. Then we're going to swap to the Mint Lolly. In between colours, I am cleaning off my brush on one of the Kiki London alcohol wipes. So I just have one of them just outside of the shot, and I will just give the brush a few wipes off that, and then it will pull the colour off. You will see every now and then the nail goes out of shot. This is if I'm doing a 10-second flash cure. So whenever I'm doing any kind of hand painting, I will take the advantage of the 10-second flash cure cure option on the Kiki London lamp. This will just freeze your gel polish in place, so it eliminates any smudging and things like that. It doesn't fully cure the gel polish. You will still need to do your full cure at the end of the design. So here, as you can see, we're coming in with the Lush Lavender, and I'm just following the curve that I created on the previous one. It's really, really simple to do, and it's another one of those designs where just let your brush do the work for you. So you'll see here, I've loaded up my brush, and then I'm just sweeping across the nail, allowing that brush to fan out. I'm using my little finger, as you can see here, to anchor on to my thumb, as this helps steady your hand. And then we're just coming across that nail, and then I will just fill it in with a little bit of colour. And then if you need to touch up or neaten up your lines, you can. And then I did just flash cure that one before coming in with the last little corner with the Strawberry Smoothie as well. I really liked how this ended and started with both the Strawberry Smoothie. I thought it looked quite cute. Now, I've only done a one coat of these. You could come in and do a second coat if you needed to, but I felt as though the colour looked pigmented enough with just the one coat. I really loved how this looked. You could leave it as it is if you wanted to, but I wanted to add some gold elements into this design as well, as I feel as though gold and silver actually work really nice with these colours, but I especially love the hints of gold. So I'm taking these are fairly new. If you haven't seen them before, you have to check them out. These are the Kiki London Gold Liner Nail Stickers, and they work very similar to striping tape, but a hell of a lot easier. And one of the great things about them is they curve really easy as well. So I'm going to pop just two of these lines down in between the Mint Lolly and the Lush Lavender, and then between the Lush Lavender and the Blueberry Whisk. So I'll talk you through how I apply them. So I'm just going to peel off a little bit of the liner sticker. I like to use slightly more than what I need, just so I can get good grip on it. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to place it down as though I'm placing it down straight, but I'm only predominantly sticking down the center part of that sticker. And then what I'll do is I'll start curving out from that center to the sides, just by holding that center part in place and gently nudging the sticker where I want it to go. And it curves really, really easily. Once I've got that stuck down and I'm happy with the placement, I'll then come over with my Kiki London silicone tool to give it a really good rub and make sure it is adhered. Once you have rubbed these with the silicone tool, they are really, really hard to get off, to be honest. So I don't like to rub them down until I'm happy with how they're placed, because it makes it impossible to peel off once you've come in and rubbed them down. I did just buff the sides there as well, just to make sure they're nice and flush with the side of the nail, and then using my Kiki London dusty brush, which just dust away any of that dust. That is that nail design finished, so we're going to move on to the second one. Before we jump into the second one, I do want to apologise if you can hear any background noise. My neighbours have been at DIY all day in their garden, and I've held off for doing the voiceover as long as possible. However, they don't seem to be finishing anytime soon, so I do apologise if you can hear any annoying background noise. On to this design though, we're going to be taking Mint Lolly and we're going to be framing the nail. I really, really love this look. I do it a lot with glitter, but I don't know if I've ever done it with a solid colour before, but it worked really well with this colour. I loved how the Mint Lolly looked against the O Vanilla. So I start off by doing a fairly thin frame around the edge of the nail, and the reason I start off by doing a thin one is because this is a lot easier to come in and fix up. If you go in a little bit too thick, it's harder to fix up, and you don't want your frame to be too thick. So I like to come in, go all the way around the nail fairly thin to begin with, and then I can come in and thicken up any areas that are looking a little bit thinner than others, or any areas where I want my line to be a bit crisper and things like that. Personally, I think this design does look nice when the line is thin enough that it's not overpowering the nail design, but thick enough so that you can see the colour. Now, once I have done this, I'm going to pop this in to cure for 30 seconds, and then we're going to come in and add some easy peasy dotting tool flowers. I thought these turned out super cute, but they were so simple to do. And if you're anything like me, for some reason I really struggle at hand painting flowers, so these little dotting tool ones are just, they are a vibe. So I'm going to come in, take my Kiki London dotting tool, and I'm going to pop on 5 little dots fairly close together. It doesn't matter if they're not perfectly rounded, because it still will work. Then I'm going to take my striping brush and just simply pull those dots into the center of each other, and then it creates a really simple cute flower. It looks a little bit random at the moment. It comes together once we dot on the center part of the flower. So I cleaned off my dotting tool and we're now going to swap to using the Lush Lavender, and we're going to simply do same again. So 5 little dots. You could probably play around with this and create different looking flowers by using different amounts of dots. So you could do 4 or even 6. And then once again, I always like to put on just a little bit of gel polish onto my strap liner brush. I find that it just makes the flower look a little bit more pigmented and colourful if you've got a little bit more gel polish creating those lines. But if you have applied your dots quite thickly, you don't necessarily need to do this. You can just take a clean striping brush and pull them in to the centre. So I used all 3 of the colours so that this now had all 4 of the colours on it. And I just love how cute they look and how cute the colours work together. Once I've got the flowers done, we're going to pop those in to cure for 30 seconds, and then I want the centres to have some gold, sticking with the gold theme from the previous now, because that way it's going to just flow nicely across the set. So I'm going to take some of Amber Flame. Now Amber Flame is from the Kiki London Spring Bling Collection, and I absolutely love this collection for spring summer colour glitters. They are just all beautiful, but Amber Flame is one of my absolute favorites of them because it's a really nice rich gold color. So here I'm just taking it and dotting on my centers of the flowers, and then I'm also going to come on and do some little dots coming away from the flowers, like little stems as well. I'm really loving the whole dotty phase that it seems to be going through in the nail trends and nail industry at the moment. Just super cute, and it works really well for spring, and it's the kind of nail art that's very salon friendly as well. On to the third design. Now I haven't matte top coated this nail because I want to add some water decals onto it, and I always find water decals go on better over a tacky surface. So we've just got our 2 coats of O Vanilla and obviously got the tacky inhibition layer left from our colour coats. Before I do apply those water decals though, I want to come in and add some of those gold line art stickers. And similar to how we applied them on the stripy nail, we're going to do the same. I want them to have that same curve rather than going straight across the nail. So I've pressed that down, and then I'm coming over the top once I'm happy with how it's placed with my silicone tool. I like to trim off the edges using some stalk scissors, and then we're going to come in and apply the second one. Now I only will file off the excess if I feel as though I can't get close enough with my scissors, or if I haven't got close enough with my scissors on that particular application. You can also nip these. So for example, if you are applying these very close to the cuticle area and it's too difficult to buff off any excess or too difficult to trim with scissors, they will cut nice and easily as well with cuticle nippers, which is what I will do if I'm applying them near the cuticle area. So say for example, if you're coming vertical down the nail starting at the cuticle area and you can't get a neat application and you need to trim off the excess, you can also use your cuticle nippers for that as well. Now that I'm happy with the gold line art stickers, we're going to come in and add on some cute Easter decals. I found these when I was going through my Kiki London water decals, and I mustn't have got the chance to use them last Easter. But I thought the little eggs would be perfect for this design because they're little flowers, I believe, but they have that little dotty vibe, which works for the theme that we've got going on in today's design. So I've cut 2 of those out as close to the image as possible. So you want to get rid as much of that white backing, because then this will get rid of a lot of the clear excess sheet. Then I place the decal image down onto a jelly style stamper, just dampen the back of it using a little bit of room temperature water, and then I'm going to peel off the backing paper and you're able to literally stamp down that image. Personally, I find you need to have the tacky layer for this water decal technique to work. So if I've not got a tacky layer, say for example, if I filed or buffed the nail, then I'll apply my water decals using the traditional method, or you can also apply a thin coat of your foil gel, which will then give you a tacky layer to help pull those decals off of your stamper and get them on the nail nice and smoothly. I love the Kiki London water decals because I find that they just go on absolutely beautifully. I never get any major creases or bubbles in them. I do like to smooth over them using the silicone tool just to make sure they have adhered nicely. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to do some of those little flowers that we've done on the previous nail in that center section here where between the two gold liner stickers. They are really, really simple to do, and I love that because you can also create these as small or as big as you want. So for example, if you want to do bigger flowers, you do your dots further away from each other and do slightly bigger dots. But if you want nice little ones, you can just do teeny tiny dots nice and close together, so you can fit the little flowers into small sections like what I'm doing here. So we're going to just apply 3 of these using the blueberry whisk. I do also then come on and add on some little dots of strawberry smoothie and mint lolly near those decals because I felt like the colours all tied together and I wanted to try and tie in as many of the 4 colours into each nail. So whilst I'm doing this, I just want to also take a moment to say I hope you all have a wonderful Easter weekend. Whether you are celebrating Easter or just munching out on Easter eggs, I hope you all have a wonderful weekend. I really hope the sunshine comes out so we can enjoy a bit of the spring weather. And I did also want to mention that the Kiki London website is currently running a 20% off sale, and this is site-wide excluding the new collection. So you can get 20% off with code Easter 2023. So if you head on over to the Kiki London website, which is linked in the description box below, you'll see all the information on that sale. It is a brilliant time to stock up and just grab some new colours or stock up on some essentials. So I would highly recommend checking it out. So now that we've got that design finished, we're going to move on to the 4th and final design in this one. And this one will turn out super cute. I really loved how this looked. I'm going to start off by doing a French. So I'm taking a strawberry smoothie and my French brush, and I'm loading it up with a generous amount of gel polish. Whenever you are using the French brush, you kind of want to have as much gel polish on it as though you would on your normal bottle brush. And then I'm just stamping it down, so using both sides of the brush to create our curve shape. And then what I like to do is just take a little bit more gel polish and use the curve again, but to bring that smile line a little bit further down, especially when you're working on long nails like this. So I'm keeping my brush with the curve going against the curve that we've created with French, and then I'll flip it around and just use the longer end of the brush to drag those wings down. I like to do this in 2 coats. So this is the first thin coat of strawberry smoothie. We're going to cure that for 30 seconds, and then I will do exactly the same again. So load up my brush with a generous amount, place it down. You want to have your French brush quite flat against the nail. Just line it up with your smile line and then pull down. And it's such an easy way to create a super neat French. And the more you practice with the brush, I have found, obviously the neater your French becomes because you've used it more. But on this particular French, I didn't have to do any cleanup with any alcohol or anything like that, which is brilliant for me because I do usually struggle a little bit with French, and the French brush has just made it so much easier. And then finally, I'm going to do a little bit of stamping. So we're going to stamp this little layered bunny head. So I'm going to apply a generous amount of stamping polish, scrape off the excess, take my stamper, quick flick of the wrist, and it's going to pick up that image. I'm taking a lint roller just to remove any excess, and then looking through my stamper, I'm going to place this down right at that cuticle area, and then that looks super, super cute. I really thought as though the strawberry smoothie gave me off little cute Easter bunny vibes, so I'm glad that I went for the strawberry smoothie on the French tip. I'm then going to give my plate a good clean with some acetone, and then we're going to switch to a gold stamping polish. So I'm just going to apply a generous amount of that again, scrape, and then pick up the little inner parts of the bunny ears. And then I'm just going to line them up and stamp them down. So I really loved how this design turned out. I thought it looked super, super cutesy. You could take out the Easter eggs and the rabbit head. Oh no, you could, sorry, keep the rabbit head in, but you could take out the Easter eggs and they would just have more of a spring vibe rather than spring and Easter. I'm then going to take my Kiki London No White matte top coat again, and this time we're going to top coat all of the nails using that matte top coat because I really wanted to see what a lot of the spring macaron collection would look like with a matte finish. And I have to say, I do absolutely love these colours matte. Generally, this whole design I think worked really well with a matte finish, but you will see what it would look like with a glossy finish when we first apply that matte top coat because it does go on glossy but then cure matte. So once I have finished applying this, I'm going to pop these in for a final 30-second cure, and then I have left a clip and a photo of the finished result. I really hope you all enjoyed watching today's video. If you did, please do give it a thumbs up and leave us a comment below. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, please do consider hitting that subscription button. I upload videos every single Friday. I hope you all have a wonderful weekend. Lots of love. Take care. Bye bye.